Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review The Prom. And this is Ryan Murphy's new film for Netflix, and this is a musical. And music's definitely the best part of this film. And every time Ryan Murphy gets this film kicking into musical gear, it's fun songs, high energy, very charismatic performances, and some really fun choreography. And you're having a blast. And then when the music stops, things slow down quite a bit. Murphy really struggles with The Prom in terms of the pacing of the film, because I feel like every time the music's on, it's firing on all cylinders, you're zipping along, having a great time, and then it cuts to just dialogue and it feels like it halts to a stop most of the time. And this film is about a young woman from Indiana who wants to go to prom with her girlfriend. And the PTA is like, this is horrible, and you get a whole bunch of they're basically the same amount of depth as the group in Rock of Ages, which is actually an interesting comparison because the music's original in this, at least. This has as much depth as the Rock of Ages movie, and that's the tricky thing because this has really important messages about inclusion and being comfortable with oneself, but it just looks at it on the surface, and all the characters are so just a bunch of so many cliches. Like Kerry Washington's character is a walking cliche, walking stereotype of uber conservative, and the dialogue is very ham-fisted and just hits you like a sledgehammer over the head looking at the messaging going on. And the story is about a bunch of ragtag group of Broadway people who try to use this young woman's situation to get them good publicity. And Meryl Streep is Meryl Streep. Plenty of charisma, does great in her role. Keegan-Michael Key's her principal, who definitely has the hots for Meryl Streep and has for a long time as he's a fan of hers. And Keegan-Michael Key honestly doesn't get a whole lot to do, to be perfectly honest, even though he is charming. You have James Corden, who I don't think I really need to say any more about gay face because the internet has already done that to death. So it wasn't great. And then you have Andrew Reynolds, who's great, and he's definitely one of the highlights of the film. Honestly, one of the most earnest performances. And you have Nicole Kidman, who for the longest time in this film was like, why is she even here? And then you get one Bob Fosse number. I'm like, okay, I can see why. But honestly, so many of these characters feel so flat and feel like representations of an idea and not actual people, to the point where it's hard to fully connect. But Ryan Murphy has plenty of pizzazz. Matthew Libatique is doing such a great job with his cinematography. It looks beautiful. All the costumes, the set designs, it's beautiful. It's a Ryan Murphy film. You expect that, and you're just sitting there like, well, knew this was a Ryan Murphy film and got exactly what I expected. So much energy and beauty and style and just it's deep as a puddle. But and it's long. It's a 2 hour and 15-minute film, and it felt it for me. But in the end, I had a lot of fun with the music, and I think it was well intentioned in its messaging. It just wasn't as interesting and as engaging as it should have been, especially with the subject matter. So if you're alright just taking in the music for 2 hours and 15 minutes, I think it's worth the stream for you. If you want more than that, you might want to pass and invest that 2 hours and 15 minutes elsewhere. But those are my thoughts on The Prom. Let me know what you think. Let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland Reviewer.